And on a scale of like what's the better plant on this probably is a better choice because it's already been pruned. A plant like this actually probably would want to be headed back a little bit. At some time you want to drop it down so that it can fill out. Remember that every time you prune a plant like a hibiscus, it makes two shoots, one shoot, then it makes two shoots, so the plant gets thicker. And the time that you want to train a plant into becoming a fuller specimen is when it's small, not when it gets too tall and leggy.
Okay, so that you would go up.
Yeah, and even this gardenia, you could trim this, even at this point right now, after you've received it, you could trim the tips out of that to create a fuller plant, so that now we're going to get breaks. And at the very beginning of its journey into a specimen, we've created this dense, lower growth.
You wouldn't let it adjust to the home environment first before you start pruning?
No, I wouldn't do a really hard pruning on it. You've got plenty of surface area there on the leaf to pull water out of the mix, which is critical to keeping the root system healthy.
Okay, and last plant in that box is another 2.5-inch pot.
And it's another gardenia, and this is Gardenia jasminoides, fortuniana. And this one is actually, gardenias are great examples of the need to manage pot size, because the reason why people lose gardenias is generally to root rot, and they get in a soggy, wet situation with cool temperatures, and the tissue is soft, maybe from a little bit of excess fertilizer, and then the plants collapse. So in the case of that, we could use this 4-inch pot. This is a little smaller plant. It has as much vigor as Belmont, but it's a little bit smaller. So then you can see the root system on that, and we go in and shift it up into a little bit larger size. There we go. And you know, this is growing. It's got one there and it's got one there, and best thing you could do would probably take that down like that, so that this can actually branch. And
that'll make a fuller specimen?
Make a fuller specimen. You could even pinch that soft tip out like that, so that this is going to have to break and make a fuller specimen. And gardenias, they really break very well, but they tend to, without being sprayed with growth regulators, they tend to really become these somewhat open, especially fortuniana becomes this very open plant.
So the only one that you did not repot in there was that hibiscus that's in the 4-inch pot, but you could repot that.
Oh, that needs to be repotted.
It does need to be repotted.
Yeah, by all means. This I got ahead of myself, but this definitely needs to be moved up. Oh yeah. And you can see the root system is very, and then we simply do the same thing again. Take the plant, hold it. I usually hold it in my left hand. Right hand, I put soil in, settle it in, so as you can see that the depth of it is just a little bit lower than where it sits right now.
Yeah.
And it's sitting on some firm soil. Then we go around the side like this and firm the soil down. Give it a good tapping like that, just to get it down. That had a very dense root ball to it, and was very, because it's an older plant, it's very firm, and so.
And that's a good thing. Sometimes we get questions that, that they see all the.
Well, there's nothing ever wrong with a root-bound plant. Sometimes people are concerned about that, but that just means especially when the roots are white like that, that plant is screaming to get out of the pot, but it's got a lot of strength to it. And again, even as root-bound as they are, we generally don't fray the root system. And I say of the millions and millions of plants I've seen go through Logees over these many years, I've never seen one that didn't actually grow out of it.
And one last question, you use plastic pots to repot in sometimes?
You can, or use clay. And believe it or not, gardenias, for those that overwater or have root rot problems, clay is probably better. We use a lot of plastic in our production for sale. We still use quite a bit of clay for the mother plants that we grow.
And what about the hibiscus? Are they going to need to repot again, or can you grow them out to maturity in those pots?
These actually should be grown on for a while and could get flowers to begin to bloom. But generally, in our mother plants, our stock plants, we're working with 8, maybe 10-inch pots. That's as big as we go. And then we don't go any bigger than that because it's too much. And then it's a matter of, they grow out, they flower, they go through a cycle, and then you head them back.
Okay,
Yep.
Thanks.